everybody. This is the first episode of season 2. And if you see me, it's because I am your new co-host along with Nico. We're back.
We're back and better than ever, I want to say. I'm really hopeful for this season. And I'm not a very hopeful person, unlike you, but I'm very much hopeful for this season.
Yeah, we're excited. We're both excited. We have a new format that we're trying out. We've got new friends that we want to interview. And yeah, let's just jump in.
Tell me about what you think is going to be different about this season.
We're both coming at it from a very positive angle. I think that because the world is ending and because things are dire, we are having a little bit of a not name change, I'm going to call it a name adjustment.
We felt that we needed more Helen in this equation just to make it work and in the face of everything that is happening right now. So we decided to cross the knot from "you're not going to make it," which was a huge, huge step. More for me.
More for Nico. But
are you happy with the change?
Yeah, I'm very happy with the change because it's such a small, subtle change. Whereas I think that as much as we were trying to be, I was trying to be ironic with the "you're not going to make it" because technically depends on your definition of success. But technically, in my eyes, like I've already made it, right? So I don't need to reach for the final destination because I'm already kind of there. And I think Nico's still figuring his way. I want to understand Nico's more cynical approach. Right now, I don't understand it. We were talking about it a little earlier. But I'm going to respect Nico's point of view. I'm going to respect how he comes at this, what he thinks the name represents to him. I'm going to keep what I think the name represents to me. And honestly, it's open for interpretation. People can interpret it however they want.
I think that not only I respect your approach, but I actually need your approach a little bit in my life. You're not going to make it. When I thought about that, I thought it was an irony from the true meaning of making it. So what I can tell you is I thought, all right, this whole thing about making it is a construct that sometimes is not helpful for artists because we're so pressured by success that we can't really express ourselves. And I was, all right, you're not going to make it. But the good thing about that is you are going to make great things in the way to making it. And not making it under that light was a positive thing. I still feel that the pressure of making it is not helpful and not conducive to creation sometimes. We're too obsessed with making it. And I think we can both agree there were other ways of making it. I mean, especially in the film industry, there's so many different ways of making it. And to me, that represents creating things, putting them out in the world, and creating with friends. If I'm doing that, I can postpone my expectations for life. Those unrealistic expectations, which I think we all need. But it was an invitation to be in the moment.
It's great, and it's honestly gonna be a great season. I'm excited, and we're gonna have different segments. For example, our first segment, I think it's always gonna be like updates for you. Like, for example, I'm in New York right now. And I was telling Nico that, man, the life in New York is so different, Nico. I have a friend from LA who's also in New York right now. And her friend from high school was having a party in her backyard near my brother's apartment. So we went and I made probably like 5 new friends there. We were all chatting in the backyard. None of them film people. I stayed out until 2. Yeah, I stayed out until 2 a.m. and I asked the girls next to me, I was like, so how late do people stay? And she was like, oh, people will be here until 5 a.m. And I said, 5 a.m.? Are we in Europe? Yeah, what the hell are you guys doing? And I was shooketh. And the fact that I just made connections with so many different people that night, and it honestly inspired me to live a little bit more intentionally, because I think someone asked me, they were like, so what do you do like for fun in LA? What do you do to kind of like have fun? And I couldn't answer. I couldn't answer. It was so sad. And then my brother was like, yeah, me and my roommate, we go out sometimes and we're like, oh, let's catch the sunset. And then we'll bike somewhere and like go catch the sunset. And I was like, what? And then his roommate asked me, like, do you ever go to the beach and like catch the sunset in LA? I'm like, no. Why would I do that?
Okay.
Why would I sit in traffic?
I want to push back on this. So first, yes, it's a real city where people actually have different jobs and not a monoculture. Great. I love that. Don't you feel that you may be subjected to New York in summer syndrome, where everything is tinted by this rose-colored glass that ends in winter?
No, I don't. Because you know what? In the winter, I feel like everyone's extra like cozy. They'll be at home and they'll like invite you over their house or like more dinner party kind of vibe. It's not just the summer rose tinted glasses. It's not.
Maybe I'm trying to hold you in LA, Helen, because I'm feeling that this is too dangerous right now. I mean, I don't know if I like this.
No, look, it is dangerous.
What is
I had a
happening? Are we talking about a Helen that may move to New York?
I would
You have to say
thrive
it
in
in
New
my
York.
face.
I would thrive in New York. I would thrive in New York, but I would also not because the way that I had to turn off my brother's AC unit that's in the window to record this, I am sweating. Like the AC
Okay.
situation here in New York is rough. LA has AC. LA has my car's AC. I have a car in LA. Here I have to take the subway. I don't love it. I like it because I get to read, but I don't love it. So I will say I have missed certain parts of LA.
There's no perfect city, I guess. Do you think that we need to be in LA? Is there a material advantage of people who are paying rent in LA? Or everybody's on Zoom, so just do your thing.
Look, I was emailed this morning about a meeting and I was like, oh shoot, I'm not in LA. Is this okay? And they were like, oh yeah, don't worry, it's gonna be in Zoom. It's like,
Doesn't matter anymore.
it doesn't matter anymore.
It does not. And so it's so expensive to live here that I wonder if it has any advantages over. I mean, New York would be as expensive, but maybe going somewhere else, like maybe Texas. I love Austin. Why not Austin?
Austin, yes. Texas,
Austin.
I don't know.
Well, Austin.
It's
Like,
so
yes,
hot, dude. It's so hot. Like Austin's cute and all, but I'm like the weather is nasty. It's 10 times worse than New York. Not doing it.
Okay, so tell me what else is going on in your life. What have you been? Do you want to go into only good news?
Let's do only good news. Only good news. We'll start off with some good news that I have, which is that I got a new manager. I don't think I've told you about this, but
No.
when I first moved to LA, I did not have a job in the industry right away. It took me a while to get there, but eventually I did land in a mailroom at an old talent agency that was called APA. And I met a girl named Molly. Molly was friends with me and another mutual friend who we had named Caitlin. And we stayed in touch. She shifted into management, and I remember catching up with her several months ago last year and telling her about my manager at 3 Arts. She was like, if I had known you were looking for a manager, I would have loved to, work with you. And I was like, damn, that sucks. Like, I would have loved to work with you too. I like her taste. I think we both have the same sense of humor. So when I got news from my old manager that she was leaving management in general to become a producer, I was like, damn, this sucks. And I didn't know what to do. But luckily, I had a moment of realization being like, oh shit, there's someone out there who had mentioned before wanting to work with me. And now I have the opportunity. So I reached out to her. We made it official like last week, a week and a half ago. And she's been great.
How cool it is to find a manager that actually understands your vibe. It's amazing, I think. Right?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's exciting because we're both the same age. We're both still trying to figure out our careers as we go. But she's had a lot of success with her clients, being in writers' rooms and selling shows and reps a lot of stand-ups that I really like. So I think it'll be an interesting
You
cool
stand-up comedians sometimes end up in writer's room, punching at things, or yeah.
Times. Not so much punching up things, but for example, when I worked on Happy's Place, we had Christella Alonso, who's a stand-up. She was a consulting producer and she came in 3 days a week. And her job was to be in the room as other writers were in the room, but the title of consulting producer is often given to them. But it doesn't really mean anything. It just means they are more expensive because they're famous stand-up comedians and they can only afford them for certain days of the week. So we only had Christella like 3 days a week.
And what is the dynamic with a comedian in the room? Like, how does that look like?
Well, it can be really, really great, or it can be sometimes difficult because a lot of stand-ups will never not want to be getting to the joke. They'll be like working for the joke, and you're like, okay, but we need to figure out the story like over here. So maybe like let's take a break from laughing and jokes and like let's focus in. But they're always I love the two stand-ups that I've worked with in the past. They've always been super helpful, always great with story, and I love it. Other men who are threatened by women or who are stand-ups and had better careers than them may be threatened and not as nice, but the women that I worked with have been amazing.
I have this theory, which is all great actors are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
like if you meet a very normal person that is acting, it's usually, I think, not that good. Like actors in general have a craziness to them when they're good. Do you think it's the same with stand up? Like stand up seem to be all nuts. Like not
100%.
really socially great.
Not at all. And it makes it hard to be friends with them sometimes, both actors
Yeah.
and stand-ups. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if you are committed to that terrifying thing of going out and being funny in front of so many people, regardless of their reaction, I think you had to be a little bit nuts.
100%.
Last time I saw stand up was on your show, Single Writers Only. What was her name? She was amazing. She was so funny.
Elisa Escobedo, yeah, her. Damn, she's so talented. She's a lead in Happy's Place on NBC. It was in Blue Beetle. She was on Baker and the Beauty. She's done theater before. I love working with her, and she loved coming to like play with all of the actor friends that I have. And it was so fun. Everyone had such a blast, and I'm so happy that everyone liked it.
I loved it. Okay, so you said your good news, right? I will say mine. I think I'm very blessed this year for being able to be very busy with commercial work, and my commercial work pays the bill. I always say I have two careers. One is the kind that brings food to the table, and the other one is where I spend my money. So I usually spend my money on film. Like if I look back, I don't think I make money because the projects are so long in film that really I need something else to sustain myself. And I'm blessed to have a career in commercials that I love working on. I consider it more of a craft than an art, but I really, consider myself blessed. And I lived in Spain for a bunch of years and I worked there, but for the last, I want to say 12 years, ever since I moved to the US, I worked for the US market. And just recently, I did my first two jobs abroad in different countries for different markets, for different agencies, everything different. And I loved it. And it was great to kind of get to work with other cultures and visit new places and work there. So I did a commercial in Dubai, which was a crazy experience for the Middle East market. I started a career in Dubai a month ago. And of course, now we're at war like with the Middle East. And so that is gone. Thank you. Thank you guys in America. But we're going to be fine. And the other is Latin America. I shot a commercial in Chile for Mexico, and it was great. I had a great time. I got to say, people are a little bit more laid back. They're not so afraid of staying a little longer, shooting some, extra time. It really felt like a more laid back experience, which I really needed, and a break from more of a serious particular way that you shoot here in the US. And it was a very different thing. And I'm super happy that I've done it. Having said that, when I'm busy, of course, I'm not doing film. And so it really helped me, being so busy with commercials really helped me put in perspective how much I love film and how much I need to create things and to create art. Because it feels to me that it slips, it's like stuff slipping through my fingers sometimes when I want to write that script or I want to do that short, and it's really, I don't have the physical time to do it. So I think in my next life, I'm going to be born on a wealthy family that can pay, that can help me pay for everything while I figure out my film career. But I need another,
You need another shot at it. Yeah, next life.
I need another shot at it. So I need to be born again as not necessarily, I don't want to be a Nepo baby, but I want to have a wealthy family that supports and patrons my career.
That is the dream. That's cool that you can recognize that. And honestly, though, you have so much time. And yeah, maybe it doesn't have to be in the next life. Maybe you'll just come into money magically.
I would love that liquidity event that will take my career to the next level. Two more things. So my director's workshop, Directors Craft LA, is taking off. We get new directors, which are great. And we're very happy to be expanding the roster of directors. And that has been a great experience. We're closer to launch social media for the workshops. So it's going to be finally showing to the world what we're doing. We've been doing this for 2 years. And it's really great because we gather a group of directors and we work on the same scene. 4 directors take turns directing the scene with actors that we cast. And it's been an amazing growing experience for all of us in the collective to be able to really see the work of other directors and also get feedback for your own work. It's a little bit nerve-wracking to direct in front of very cool directors, but I would say the environment is so welcoming and so safe that really is, at some point you get used to it and it's really enjoyable. But some people freak out before they join, or they don't want to join because they don't want to direct in front of other people, which I think it's a shame because it really helps you grow. And then finally, I did an AI film called Los Angeles, Greatest Country on Earth.
I watched
AI.
it. Yeah.
And it got like, I was a little bit worried because it really talks about the crisis in LA and how bad we're all doing.
It's very funny too.
But it's funny. It comes from a good place, and it really had a good reception. I was, part of me was like, should I publish this because it's done in AI, and my thinking about AI. I'm not gonna go into that, but it comes from a good place, and also it kind of like makes fun of of our generation or of our industry, but from a good place. So I was hoping that it would get well received, and it did, and so I'm very happy that nobody got offended and that people found it funny.
Good, good. I'm glad I watched it and got to see it. And yeah, it was very cool. I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, it was a way you specifically didn't use humans. Like, you didn't create any human AIs, right? Like, they were all either like monsters or like creatures, right? But they were also kind of cute and weird. And I think that helped a lot. Also sweet a lot. Yeah, it's good. We're also going to share some of Danny Boyle's good news.
Can I say something before you start talking about Danny Boyle?
Yeah.
Danny Boyle was fundamental for me to become a director. So when I was like 16, So when I was 16 years old, I watched Trainspotting. This is how old I am. I watched Trainspotting in the cinema, and it fucking blew my mind. It was everything I wanted to. Like, I decided that I wanted to become a director out of that movie. And if you see that movie, still is so fresh, and it has so many ideas. It's terrifying, and it's heartbreaking, and it's exhilarating all at the same time. And I think that he does that very well. And I don't think I've been following Danny Boyle's to the T. Like, I think I missed a couple movies. And now that you brought this up that you're going to talk about, I felt like, I need to catch up with Danny Boyle, including this movie you're about to talk about.
Yeah, his new movie 28 Years Later did really well in the box office. Launched with 30 million domestic debut and 60 million globally. And apparently that's one of his strongest openings yet, which is surprising because didn't he also do Slumdog Millionaire? I wonder what the numbers were for that. But I love Slumdog Millionaire. That was a big one for me. And also, when I was researching this director, to be honest, I'm not super familiar with him. His range is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you say Trainspotting, then you've got Slumdog Millionaire, then you've got 28 Years Later, which is like an apocalyptic horror franchise, right? I kind of love it because the other day I was thinking about the stuff that I want to direct, and it's kind of all over the place in tone. And I'm like, okay, Danny Boyle did it. He can do it. You don't have to like pigeonhole yourself, you know?
No, Ridley Scott is like that too, right? Like, he can do Blade Runner, Alien, and he can do
Sci-fi. What else is he?
No, Ridley Scott has done hundreds of movies, and they're all over the place. Gladiator is Ridley Scott, for example, right? So Napoleon, like the latest Napoleon for Apple TV, was done by him. He can do anything, and he can do shows as well. Have you seen the show HBO Raised by Wolves? That was an amazing sci-fi show. But then he did The House of Gucci, The Last Duel.
He is kind of all over the place. Yeah.
He is, yeah. And here in America, you have like Soderbergh, for example, I think is a good example of a director that has a huge range, right? Soderbergh he can do a heist movie, or he can do a rom-com, or he could do a thriller. Like, I think that it's great. There are some directors, like, I think in the other side of the spectrum, we have Wes Anderson that does very much the same style every time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like you, I have a lot of different interests, and I feel like there's a through line in my work, but it's a conceptual through line and not really a stylistic through line. There are some ideas that I keep going back to, or techniques, but the truth is I wish I could have the freedom not to follow a perfect career. I feel like some directors have the perfect career, but that's not really who I am. And the perfect career, I mean like the career that is always, it makes total sense when you go from Bottle Rocket short film to the last Wes Anderson film. Like, you can see the progression. It's all going to one direction, but that's not who I am. And I'm glad that there are directors out there that can do other things.
Yeah. And even Danny Boyle, he is 68. He's having this like moment in his career, and it's so cool to see him still out there working at 68 years old, dude. Like, that's crazy to me.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's the dream.
He shot this with an iPhone, which is making me want to see it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Are you going to see it?
I haven't seen it yet. I saw the prequel, which he did years ago, 28 Days Later, and that was shot with like a handycam. So he really created like this texture that was unique. It's great to see people experimenting with different formats and ideas. I really love his style.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Danny Boyle. That's kind of all I have to say. The last thing that I'll say is that I believe 28 Years Later was written by Alex Garland, who I really like.
Who I love too, yeah. One of my favorite directors.
I don't like horror. I don't want to watch something scary, but now like all it is
Scary.
It's very scary, right? This movie.
Yeah, of course. It's a horror movie.
So I don't like them, but now I kind of want to watch it. So I don't know.
Okay. Maybe we'll watch it together when you come back.
Maybe. Moving on to another segment, which is How Did They Make It? We're going to talk about one of my favorite movies of the summer is Lilo and Stitch. The director
Look at your face. You're so happy about Lilo and Stitch.
I love Lilo and Stitch. Oh my God. Nico, you're going to lose your mind. Are you ready to see what I'm about to show you? This wasn't even planned, but I'm happen to be near my purse.
I know what you're about to show.
You know what I'm going to show you?
Because I
followed me on TikTok. I got one. I got the one that I wanted. Okay, let me tell you a story about it.
Show it to the lens. Show it to the lens. Okay, yeah, you're showing it to us right now.
The camera also will follow it. That's so funny.
So yeah.
Anyway,
so tell me, this is not just Lilo and Stitch. It's not Lilo, whatever. It's something else too. It's like a monkey thing that people buy. Or it's like a monkey plush toy.
Monkey plush toy? No, it's a monster. It's a monster.
Is it Beanie Baby? Now I know about the movie, but this is a crossover with another brand. No? Or is that original character?
I think it is. I don't think it is. I don't think it has any relation. I could be completely wrong. Nico's talking about the Labubus that have gone viral.
Yeah. Okay.
The Labubu. But yeah, this one I don't think is just a Labubu. I think it's just honestly like a different thing. But back to Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake, super cute, super adorable, had its flaws. People were very upset with it. I thought it was a fun time. But the director of this is Dean Fleischer-Camp, right?
Yeah.
And he also did Marcel the Shell. Marcel and
the Shell with the shoes on.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was a short film before it became a feature.
Yeah. It was. Okay, but finish, because I have some things to tell you about that.
So I did some research on him because I wanted to see, okay, how did this guy get to direct this movie, Lilo and Stitch? And what I saw on his IMDb wasn't much, but what I did see was Marcel and the Shell. Haven't seen it, want to watch it. Then before that, it was the shorts. And then before that, I saw that he did a documentary called Fraud. And I think that you've seen the documentary, right?
No, I haven't seen the documentary.
Oh, you've seen something else. Okay, the documentary, let me just tell you what it was about. It's very interesting. I want to watch it. It was back in 2016, and it was a conceptual documentary film made up of re-edited home videos, and it tells the story of this American family that's obsessed with shopping at big box stores, but they go into crazy debt, and it leads them to just kind of have to go to extremes to wipe the slate clean. So I want to watch that because I love anything revolving a shopping addiction, which I have. So I love it.
One day we need to do an episode about that, because I feel like your TikTok content is very centered about shopping and I'm very interested. I think you could help me maybe with mine. I think we all have it here. And people who don't think they have it, then you find something they have. My friend who's staying here, he's like, I don't need anything in life. I just need good food and a place to sleep. And then we went to Amoeba, the record store, and he spent $500 in vinyl records.
Aww.
The guy who doesn't buy anything.
Anything.
This is the only thing I need. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, you need that. You need that. That's $50 vinyl. Yes, everybody has it. So we all need your help. So when you mentioned Daniel Fleischer, I didn't know who he was. And then I realized that he did Marcel the Shell, the short film back then in 2009. And back then I was doing puppet short films and augmenting them post-production. And when I see that short, it really blew my mind. Like the cuteness of that short is beyond. This is 2009. And so it's like, all right, that's the guy. And this is a Vimeo generation. If you had something special, you would put it on Vimeo. So I was connected to that kind of world, and I would get the feed of Vimeo and the new things. And Marcel the Shell was a staff pick. And back then, being a staff pick could change your life. And I pretty much think it did for him. So I was trying to dig in and find out what was he doing around that time. And his website is down, like all famous people. He doesn't have a website anymore. But you have an internet archive where you can go and visit websites that are not no longer offline. They basically record the whole internet and have it archived. And I went back and put some things together. So the first thing I thought it was super interesting was the fact that he does Marcel the Shell short film in 2009, but it won't be until 10 years later where he actually gets to do the movie for A24. And that's how long it takes to do something. And it really made me feel good just to see, it took him 16 years, 10 to Marcel the Shell, the movie, which was a huge success of A24, pretty much an extension of the short, and then 16 years to his first blockbuster. But even 16 years ago, he was already doing a lot of things, and it's very cute to see what he was up to. So the funny thing is, like, from the Internet Archive website that they have of his own website in 2009, he had like a news section in the website. And so I can read you some of the 2009 news of Daniel Fleischer. April 20, 2009. Science Fair wins. This is a short film. Science Fair wins at the Garden State Film Festival. The award, Best Family Short, was surprised considering the film features an abusive mother, an absent father, and two runaway children. I thought that was great. I'm going to read you two more. September 9 of 2009. Very excited to jump into production of a new sketch, something, 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 for the Eugene Miriam Comedy Festival with good comedian Max Silvestri. Right? November 2009. The silly thing we made with the Eugene Miriam Comedy Festival will be on your television, whether you like it or not. Comedy Central on November, part of Adam TV. I thought, okay, that's a little progression, like it's step by step, 16 years ago, of how it led to the success of Lilo and Stitch, which is a huge success for him. Regardless if some people see flaws in the movie, that is a testament for the kind of thing that you can achieve if you put yourself to it during like a big, long chunk of time, I think.
Honestly, and I haven't seen Marcel on the Shell. It is like a good film to have under your belt that kind of translates and could convince execs like, oh yeah, you could direct the live action Lilo and Stitch because we need the Stitch to be animated the way that Marcel was kind of animated,
Yeah.
It does kind of parallel one another, which is really cool. Lilo and Stitch had the weirdest CGI. Like they cut the budget on the CGI, and that was so jarring to me. Really.
And the creatures?
The creatures when they were CGI looked like they did one pass on them.
That's sad.
Really sad.
Yeah, that kind of happened with, I have an acquaintance, Andy Muschietti, who's a director who did The Flash, who's a big, big movie, and they pulled the rug from the movie. They pulled the plug halfway through for financial reasons, and they basically stopped with the post-production. And that really made the movie complicated to watch because those big blockbuster movies, they really need to be perfect or they fall apart. I think you're more forgiving in an independent film than you are in a big movie, right?
Yeah. But man, Stitch is so cute. I love him.
I'm very glad that you liked it. Maybe Marcel the Shell is the kind of movie we want to watch together next time because it's a non-horror movie that is
100.
super, it's super mega cute, which seems your vibe. So this has been great. I hope it was a great success for you too.
Yeah.
This brand new chapter in our lives. And I'm going to see you in the next one.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.